introducing his opponent, he is the undefeated Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe!
Oh man, Jeff Harris, what a treat we are in store for. It is the man who has been the impact player in TNA for the past 14 months. The undefeated Samoa Joe taking on the man that's got all the tools, all the potential to be the next impact player in TNA, Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode, like we were talking about last night, is the supposed hottest free agent in TNA, being wooed by all the managers in TNA, trying to sign him to an exclusive deal now that he's been cut loose from Team Canada. But what about Samoa Joe?
Referee, you tell all these hillbillies here in Anderson, South Carolina to shut their mouths on the new face of TNA and head to the hills and get the hell out of town.
Bobby Roode upset with the fans here at ringside that were chanting Joe, Joe, Joe the entire time as Samoa Joe made his way to the ring. What a wild bunch of fans we got here in Anderson at the Anderson County Fairgrounds. They've definitely been very appreciative of all the wrestlers here from TNA tonight. What I was going to say, though, Brad, about Samoa Joe, you think about the managers trying to sign Bobby Roode. What about managers thinking about signing Samoa Joe?
I cannot imagine anyone who would be a bigger asset to a manager's stable than Samoa Joe. You got to figure that's 14 months straight worth of the winner's share of the purse. 10% of that.
It's only a rumor, but I heard Don King was trying to sign him, but he would be getting much more than 10%. I heard he usually gets 90% when he signs the deal, and I think that's why Samoa Joe has refused so far.
I can believe that. Joe and Holyfield, Joe and Roy Jones, that would sell some pay-per-views.
Well, let's talk about that referee. We've got John Hall back in the ring. I understand he almost ate a piece of bacon today.
Oh, wow.
He accidentally put on his sandwich, and he went into convulsions when he saw it. He's still refusing to eat red meat.
Oh, God. He may eat the fist of Samoa Joe here in a moment.
But he has recovered enough to be able to step into this high-profile matchup with Bobby Roode and Samoa Joe. Brad, think of the ramifications. We talk about Bobby Roode's popularity with the managers. If he was to pull out the win, if he's the first man to beat Samoa Joe, and he does it here in Anderson, South Carolina, he calls himself the true new face of professional wrestling. Can you imagine the impact that would cause? You remember the dollar amounts he could be demanding for managers after that?
It would be, I think, at this point, the biggest feather in the cap one could hope for in their career, to be the man that gets that first victory in TNA over Samoa Joe.
Look like we're going to get a count out.
Woo! Just about got counted out, did Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode pushed that one to the last millisecond, risking a count out there with John Hall. John Hall wasn't slowing up at all. He was going to count him out.
John Hall ate his Wheaties this morning. He's not taking any lip, any crap from anybody.
Now we finally got both competitors in the ring. Looks like we're going to get a... Now we're getting a chant from these fans, Joe's going to kill you. How intimidating is that? I mean, Bobby Roode, you know, you got to think, here's my night. This is the night I'm going to do it. I'm going to break the streak. I'm gonna up my stock even further. And you've got all these fans here in Anderson chanting, "Joe's gonna kill you."
500 or so people firmly behind your opponent. It plays a huge mind game. And I think at this point, the winning streak is almost as big an asset for Samoa Joe as any offensive maneuver. It is such a psych-out job to fight someone who has never lost in the TNA ring.
Now, Bobby, we all knew Canadians were stupid. We just weren't aware that they were pussies, too.
What do you think he meant by that, Jeff Harris?
I think all the fans in Anderson understand.
Well, Bobby Roode, to say he is tentative to lock up with the Samoan would be an understatement. Finally, a lockup. Go behind Bobby Roode. Oh, gosh. I don't know if I would trash talk Samoa Joe after one quick series like that. Joe puts about 7, hooks upside the face, inverted atomic drop on Bobby Roode, charges with a penalty kick.
Joe just devastating Bobby Roode here in the early minutes. In that corner, and we're going to get some Tenryu series of punch chops. Tell you what, Bobby Roode's got to be thinking, maybe this wasn't such a good idea to wrestle Samoa Joe here tonight at Anderson.
Boy, straight up, Joe has hit Bobby Roode as many times in the first 2 minutes of this contest as some people get hit in the entire course of a match. Quick strikes early, and he just sidesteps the drop kick attempt from Bobby Roode.
That looked like one of those missiles that North Korea launched. Went about 2 minutes in the air and then exploded and it crashed in the ocean. His missile drop kick missed just about as far as those North Korean missiles.
Bobby Roode begging off.
Oh, wait a minute. He grabbed the tights of Samoa Joe and launched him right through the rope, so we're going to spill out onto the floor here.
It was a little cowardly, but it was a good defensive maneuver. And now Roode trying to take the fight to Joe on the outside of the ring.
Ripping the skin. Now he just slammed the face right into that metal barrier.
Well, you can do some damage on the floor, but you really can't. To beat Joe on a count out is not the kind of monumental, impactful move that Bobby Roode has got to be looking for. You got to think he wants to do some damage on the floor, but he wants that pinfall. He wants that submission. He wants that clear victory here in Anderson.
Referee John Hall trying. He's pleading with him to bring the action back inside the six-sided ring. These fans getting behind Joe. Look at Joe with a big chop.
Oh gosh, another chop to the pectoralis. That will affect your punching power.
Sending Roode. Oh, wait a minute. Roode reversed him into the ring barrier, and I think the front row just got smashed as well.
Boy, I keep going back to it. Both of us do, but what a coup. What an unbelievable moment it would be for Bobby Roode to pick up that first victory over Samoa Joe. 2 count, but Joe got the shoulder up. What an incredible moment. Just think what it would do for Bobby Roode, what it would do for even for the live event attendance to have something that monumental occur at a non-televised event like this. And believe me, believe both of us, it could very, very easily happen on any given night, Jeff Harris. Anyone can beat anyone.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Brad. And not only that, it's just a matter of time before we see a title change on one of these great TNA house show events that Hermie Sadler brings to all the local venues that he's visited. It's just a matter of time, because you just think about this week, 3 NWA World Tag Team title defenses. Tonight, the main event, we'll see the third of 3. The more title matches we see, the likelihood of a title change is going to happen. I mean, an upset's going to happen. And like you said, what happens if it's the upset tonight is Samoa Joe. If he loses that first match.
I tell you, we speculated last night in Columbia. I got to believe, on that note, and I'm sure we will talk about it at greater depth in the main event, I've got to believe that schedule of Daniels and Styles is going to catch up to them at some point. They have fought as hard as any champions in TNA's almost 5-year history at this point.
We talk about momentum in matches. We're also talking about momentum over a series of matches. This weekend we've seen the momentum of Petey Williams go down the toilet as he's 0-3 for the weekend. But you look at the flip side, the Naturals 0-2 and going in tonight's main event for the tag team titles against AJ and Daniels, who are 2-0 as well.
Eric Young, another one that picked up a win and a draw.
Right.
And 2 wins and a draw, excuse me.
So that momentum tonight, the main event, one of those tag teams is going to be 3-0 for the weekend, and one of those tag teams is going to leave Anderson as the NWA World Tag Team Champions.
Bobby Roode, 1-1 thus far as he was. Good grief, what a display of strength. He gets Samoa Joe up for the vertical and held him in midair. Incredible display of strength by Bobby Roode. Follows it up with a cover. I gotta believe that's Surprise Joe.
Definitely don't expect someone to suplex Samoa Joe like that, but Bobby Roode showing. He's not just show, he's got go, able to hoist Samoa Joe up. Now he's dropping some big time chops. Gonna shoot him across the ropes. Follows it up, what a clothesline in the corner. And Joe looks like he's in some trouble, Brad.
A lot of times you'll see Joe counter those cross-corner attacks with the ST Joe! I was just about to say Joe worn down, but Bobby Roode went to the well one too many times and ate the ST Joe for his efforts.
Now, listen to these fans chanting Joe. I just can't believe the reaction that Samoa Joe's getting here in Anderson, South Carolina.
Straight right hook. Bobby Roode trying to fire back. A series of flipper forearms to the face. Good power slam and put away Scott Steiner last night in Columbia, but only gets 2 on the Canadian Enforcer.
Bobby Roode able to kick out from that super fast power slam. Shades of a very young Paul Orndorff and Buzz Sawyer in my book. That dates me a little bit.
Spine buster on Joe Cover. Referee right there. 2 inches.
Referee John Hall giving us the official count of 2. Just a few inches shy.
That was as close a near fall as we have seen on Joe all weekend. You talk about momentum, while Samoa Joe has never officially tasted defeat in TNA to this point, he is only 1-1 for this weekend, thanks to the losing efforts of Petey Williams in Thursday night's tag team title match.
What a match that was, too, but Joe's definitely concentrating on picking up the big jumping, shining wizard right in the face. He's setting him up on the top for his big finisher.
Joe is calling for the muscle buster. Bobby Roode, I believe, has gone to the ice and, yes, has broken the muscle buster attempt. Roode looks to be going for that exploder-like slam we saw him utilize last night. Rolling reverse. He got Joe in the rolling reverse. 2, pops the hips. Joe got the choke.
He tried to bridge back, I think, Brad, but that was a huge mistake, and there's the tap. The tap.
And still undefeated, the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe.
For the past 14+ months, one fact has been true every single night in NWA TNA. When the rear naked choke, the Cotina clutch is locked on, everybody taps. Bobby Roode is no different. Who will eventually stop the streak?